What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Unaligned Unfiltered. Welcome back to another Scoliosis Sunday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening to this. But thank you for joining me on our Scoliosis Sunday. In honor of May, this episode is going to be a scoliosis and mental health episode. We are just going to talk about some of the things that I feel aging with scoliosis and a spinal fusion, sharing thoughts about recent experiences, and just the mental load that having this carries. I feel like it's just really important to talk about it. It's not, I know we're talking more about it, but I just want to consistently make it a thing. So we're going to do it this month, but definitely look for more. There's so many intersections with mental health, with scoliosis. But today, I really want to talk about something that I've been focusing on a lot is growing up with this, growing up with scoliosis and spinal fusion, getting older with it, and the anxiety it brings me. So that's what I want to share today. Share a bit more, but going on a journey. It's just going to be a good, vulnerable episode talking a lot about scoliosis, mental health. So I really hope you enjoy it all. But yeah, with scoliosis, let's talk about mental health. So to start off, I always just like to share a tidbit about myself. As I've said, my scoliosis journey started at 13, 15, in and out of surgeries. That repetitive in and out of surgeries. Oh my goodness. In and out of the doctors, things like that. And even though we don't notice it at that time, because personally for me, I didn't have the words that I have now, right? I didn't have disabled or fusion ear. I love that one. That came out of Bionicon. Or dynamically disabled, right? I didn't have these terms. Maybe you didn't have these terms. And it's kind of hard to understand what we need or what we should do when we're the only one who is living in this body. There's no one else around us with scoliosis, or there's no one else around us with a spinal fusion. So for me, in the beginning, what happened for many of us, I feel what happens is we become isolated. But the thing is, I didn't really know that I was isolated. I know I felt alone and misunderstood, and I felt lonely. And that's why I started writing, but I kind of fell off on writing and then just avoided anything to do with scoliosis up until, October of 2023 when I hit record for the first time, and I found other people with fucking scoliosis and a spinal fusion. And that's really when my life started to change. And it's also when everything piled up. So I want to just make this clear that I think, again, I'm not a medical professional. These are all my lived-in experiences and my opinions. I share them to share insight, so it maybe will help with your own journeys, but please, know there's so many different stories and journeys out there. I just share mine to maybe shed some light. But when we don't have, the words to describe what we're going through or what we're experiencing, that to me, I think, is, what happens. We become isolated because now we are avoiding the very thing that makes us uniquely us, right? Now that I am falling and starting to fall in love with myself and my spine, and it's very cool to say that and mean it because as someone who has struggled with mental health for a very long time, it just feels nice to actually mean that you're falling in love with yourself. So I just want to share that because I really hope that everyone else can get there, because it kind of feels nice to say that so honestly. I didn't know how that would feel, and to say it, it feels really nice. And that's something I'm learning in my therapy journey, is to just let things come up as we feel them. So a lot of this episode is going to be improv. A lot of this episode is very raw, so just bear with me as we get through this episode, because I'm going to just feel things as they come up. And it feels really nice to say that I'm falling in love with myself. Because before this, I absolutely hated myself, everything about me. And I'm not saying it's gone and it's magically healed and it's out of my system, but it feels nice to have the words to understand my body more, understand my feelings more, and understand that I can get myself through this journey. So sharing just a little bit about that, right? Before everything, isolation, not having the words, then coming online, sharing my soul pretty much, like everything I've been through, and finding community and having my first podcast guest. Shout out Dr. Beth from Strength and Spine. She was the first one to say yes to me. And, like, I don't know where I'd be if she never said yes to being a guest, because it's led me here to keep continuing and being comfortable, being so vulnerable. And while it was great to find community and it was great to finally be talking about it, I don't think I realized that I opened floodgates. And I want to share that because anyone who is finally, like, maybe starting their journey, sharing their truth, I want you to be aware that the floodgates may open, and like a few, maybe a month, maybe a day, we're all so different. And I don't know if this will happen, but personally, this is what happened for me. And I just want to, like, public service announce it. But I opened the floodgates, and the depression and the anxiety that followed and just the sadness of it all hit me very bad. Like, I started to share my journey in October 2023, and then by March 2024, I was in the biggest depression ever. Like, that was when I finally started to find a therapist and look for help. So it's been about 2 years now. I want to say, no, I think it'll be 2 years in August. It took me a bit to find. I don't know. I digress. But what I'm saying is so much opened up from having these conversations, from finding community. And now that I can be reflective on it and be in this point of time, I really, really think it's because I really want to read this book. That will be the next thing we do. I think we're going to read a book together. I'm excited for that. Anywho, but I really want to read The Body Keeps Count, The Body Keeps Score, because I felt that when everything started to flood through me. It just felt like I'm finally opening up, and I think my body just needed to release so much, and it became so overwhelming because there was so much pushed down alongside my scoliosis journey, through, like, the coping mechanism of drinking. Whether it was the pain from scoliosis, thinking of the future with scoliosis and a spinal fusion, Jake's death, my grandma dying 2 weeks after my spinal fusion surgery, feeling alone and isolated, feeling like I was always just ignoring a part of myself. And now that all I do these days is talk about my scoliosis, and sometimes, whatever, I make it my whole fucking personality, because it feels so nice to not be alone anymore. And it feels so nice to hopefully what I'm doing is helping the beautiful people who come after me, who may need a spinal fusion and who may experience mental health problems because of this. And I hope I'm doing good. That's, like, my main goal. But yeah, it just became too much. And I feel like we carry, if you listen to my podcast on Thursday with Sarah Ryan, author and therapist, she talks about how how there's this big intersection with like trauma, grief, and like, surgeries. And I was just like, I've always known it, but to hear it just come out of her mouth, it was just such a, like, it was just like, like, why are we not talking about this before surgery? Like, it just drives me insane. I'm still really mad about it because, it's going to be 10 years post my spinal fusion in September, as I said. And we are just now starting to talk about the intersections between mental health and a major surgery, and that our body just holds on to so much, and we're just expected to keep moving. And this is all leading into, I said we're going to talk about mental health, and we are, and we have been, but what I'm going to share now is very personal. It may trigger you if you are someone who has spinal fusion and it's new. It may trigger you if you are years down the road. It may trigger you if you are planning to get spinal fusion. But what I will say is that I think it's a very valid thought to have. It's a thought that I've had, and I'm going to share it. So recently, my biggest issue is mental health with scoliosis, and a spinal fusion is getting older with it. And it's great. I know we need a workout routine. Like, that is the most obvious thing that I have learned from joining this community, is that we really, really need a routine and something specified to our scoliosis and our curvature to help with the progression and the pain. And while that's great, it's obviously taking me a very long time to get consistent. If you've been following me on social media, and if you have listened to the pod, you know that my number one question is what gets you motivated, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. I'm just going to get it. Let's just talk about it. So the other night, I was doing a movement. I was on my knees on for laundry. I was on my knees. The couch was here. The laundry is on the couch. And I was just going through stuff. And I had moved a little bit. And I moved to the left a little bit, which is the side of which, God, they always get me. Whatever. It was on my left side. And all of a sudden, I felt my equipment move, but I felt muscle move. And I felt and then it made me extremely nauseous. And I started hysterically crying. And it just validated that, I may experience new symptoms as this journey continues, right? And I can't believe I'm crying. But you know what? I'm so done with pushing shit down. So welcome to unaligned and unfiltered people. But yeah, it makes you realize that there's gonna be moments like that. There may be moments your whole life, or maybe it won't happen for 9 years, and then it will happen on your entry to 10 years, and you're just what the fuck? And I just want you to know you're not alone with being scared or being anxious of these feelings, but there is stuff that we can do. And the first thing that I did was, okay, I need new imaging. I need this for myself so I know that my equipment's okay, that I'm okay. So that was the first step I did. And I shared that appointment, which is if you've listened to that episode and you see how I'm feeling now, you can understand how pretty angry I was that day, because this is the person who went into that appointment. This is the person who was proud that they rehearsed for why they were going there, okay? So that's what I mean when we have to just take care of our patients better. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is these are valid feelings and there are things that we can do. Dr. Beth talks a lot about like strengthening our spine, strengthening our abdomen muscles. Like it's something I miss working out so much, and I don't know what's keeping me. I think it's my own mentality keeping me, but I also am proud of myself because I've gotten like my drinking under control. So like it's like, okay, that needs to happen first. I'm in therapy, and like hopefully the momentum and the consistency of just like my brain moving for my body will become more easily into a routine. But I've also shared that I have ADHD, and we thrive on routines, but we're terrible at making them. Also kind of hate routine. Do we thrive on routine? I may have fucked that up. Don't listen to that. What I'm trying to say is like I also have ADHD personally, and that gets in the way of like creating structure for my spine and my health, right? And whatever. What I'm saying is there are things that we can do. We can look into strength and spine if you want to start moving your body with one-on-one. She also does group classes. There's also Dr. Laura. She's absolutely amazing. She talks a lot about scoliosis and pelvic health. She does have a spinal fusion herself. So if you're looking to work with someone with a spinal fusion, Dr. Laura has a spinal fusion. Dr. Beth is very well versed with scoliosis and spinal fusion. She just doesn't have a spinal fusion herself, but she is amazing. They're both really amazing. I just always like talk about them. And then we have Allie from Haven Wellness Pilates. If you ever want to look at, movement there. Then we also have Fanny from Fuse Not Fragile Fit. And she just made a website, so she has that. I will put that. I'm going to put all their stuff. But I'm just sharing that there are people out there who are moving their bodies and showing that we can do it while they also talk about, these new symptoms presenting. But I wanted to sit down because I'm like obsessively thinking about it now. And I know that's not good for me, but it's all I think about. And one thing that's been helping, and it's small, but I have to thank Claudia, the Scoli coach, for this, is I know I haven't shared my journey with Let's Scoliosis in a while, but somatic movement is helping. And I think with it, I will get myself to do more of like the, like the powerlifting and the cardio and the race, right? But every time I try and do it, it doesn't feel it. It doesn't feel like I used to feel. And I've been on this journey for a very long time now. But I think now, through understanding that we have all these intersections and that our body keeps count, it's that the last time I was really, really working out, it was right before spinal fusion. I was a CrossFitter, and I don't know what it is, but with somatic movement, it's just so small. Like, we'll do some together. Everyone just wants to sit. One of the things I really like to do is take your hand, make a palm, or make a fist. And you just take it. Let me move my necklace. And we're just going to put it over our chest. And we're just going to rub our chest in circles. I'm going to take some deep breaths while we do this. One breath in. Big exhale out. Big exhale in. And exhale out. Big exhale in. Big inhale. And it just like kind of releases. Another thing I've really liked lately is tapping. Tapping the body, just kind of like, I'm not a professional. I'm just learning all of this. But what I can say and what I feel when I do these movements is that I'm just coming back home to my body, and I don't think I've been there in a very long time. And I think it's very important for us to do that, because this whole thing, body and mind, we're connected, and we just need to find a way to tell ourselves that we're safe in this body, no matter if it has scoliosis or scoliosis and a spinal fusion. We're safe in our body, and we have to trust ourselves, the decisions that we've made for ourselves, and the journey that we're on. So my biggest takeaway for this episode is your feelings are valid with being anxious of what may come, right? With our spinal fusion, with our scoliosis. But at the end of the day, we don't know a lot of things that are going to come, right? We just have to take this life and do the best that we can with it, with ourselves, with our community, and trust the journey. Advocate for yourself. Advocate for, whatever you hold in your heart as value, advocate for it. And just trust yourself. I think the biggest thing is just trusting yourself and fall in love with yourself, because it is a hard journey, but it is one that I'm grateful to be on, because I was really tired of hating myself. And I'm really tired of just feeling like I'm carrying all of this, everything from the past 10 years. I feel like I'm carrying it in my body still. That's where I'm at. And it's been really great to do the mental work and to break isolation and to find community. But now, like, the main thing is kind of just, like, I'm always in fight or flight. I can feel it systemically in my system. And that's the goal that I'm working on right now, is to just try and find peace within our bodies, because it's so, so important. We only have one body, and I just need you to know that yours is beautiful and lovable, and it is connected to your brain. So if you feel anxious, scared, depressed, take those feelings, find someone you trust. You can always reach out to me. I always say that. I am always here. But I definitely recommend finding a professional. I definitely recommend somatic work. It's small work, but it's meaningful, big work. And I'm seeing little changes slowly and gradually. And I want to share more of this journey. And I think that's something I'm going to do. Because, yeah, maybe it's not weightlifting, and maybe it's not, it's not what I'm used to. I think my value of when I got to the gym came from feeling like a badass and like lifting a barbell. And right now I don't have a barbell, and I think like I'm just angry and more mad about that than thinking about, okay, what are other ways? And when Claudia introduced somatics, I was like, wow, this is nice. When I like have been doing it, I'm like, this is nice because you're just with yourself. I think that's the coolest thing. Like, there's no pressure, there's no comparison. There is just you, your body, and trying to understand what comes up, right? Like, And what I mean by what comes up, where is if, let's just say I'm tapping. I know you could do this one. This one I just learned, but I'm pretty sure you want to start here and drag it. I just learned this one. I'm not sure. I think it may be this. But like I said, raw episode today because I'm so mad about my last episode. It was so great, and like I have to refilm it still, and it's like a more complex one because I have like research done, and I really wanted to share that with you guys, but I was like, no, I can't. I couldn't get it like redone today, in time for today. So really taking away that somatics and small movement help us. And kind of what I know, ADHD, sorry, what was supposed to come up during my tapping. Like you kind of just want to feel what's activating, right? Like what it is. Like for me, a lot of the time it's my gut and my heart. And I feel like when it's the gut personally for me, it's like I know. Like our gut's like our second brain. So I feel like this is getting messy. But what I'm trying to say is somatics has really helped me. It helps you go in tune and back inward with your body so you can listen to things that are coming up. So you can, I don't know, be more prepared. Like I feel like sometimes it may even help with like my panic attacks. Like because usually what happens for me with a panic attack is that they're completely out of left field and they come out of nowhere, right? But the truth is with the panic attack and like with the research I'm doing, it's like it was there and it was just building up and getting ready for the moment because of the anxiousness. Our body's in flight and fright. We're maybe not feeling trustworthy in our body and ourselves. We're worried about the future, so we're not in the present moment. All of it's connected. And what somatic does is it brings you back to the moment and kind of lets you take your body and your mind on a roadmap to how you're feeling. And I think that helps with lessening panic attacks because we're listening to our body. Because a lot of the time, what is a panic attack? Personally, for me, I have heart palpitations. I'm sweating. I genuinely believe I'm fucking dying. Like it, shortness of breath, you name it. Like my nervous system is fucking shot. So I would just really like to recommend somatics. But all of this to say, like, it's valid. Am I scared sometimes to grow up with spinal fusion? Yes. Do I regret having my spinal fusion? No. But it's just such a journey to be on, and no one can judge this journey but you. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. You did the hardest part. You got through recovery. And if you're going through recovery right now, you a baddie. You a spinal fusion baddie, okay? Because that shit is no fucking game. That is no fucking joke. Do you know I found out that it's like the top like painful surgeries? I had no idea. And then they still tell you to just go swimming and that you'll be fine. Whatever. I digress. But I hope this episode is clear. I'm sorry if it was more like raw and very unfiltered and kind of sporadic with my little brain, like my ADHD brain, not little brain. I love my brain, but it yeah, I'm very sorry if this one's all over the place, but I was like, I gotta say hi to my Scully peoples, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to redo the one, but that will be probably sometime in June now. I really, it was a very long episode. It's like an hour and 15. So I just need a time to redo that. And then for this Thursday, we're going to talk more about the scars that we carry, both invisible and invisible and visible. Something that Sarah Ryan said on the podcast on Thursday really, really hit home for me. So that is something we're going to be talking about on Thursday. So look out for that. A bit more structured episode, if you will. But I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. I hope you do something that makes your spine and mind happy today. And just take it easy, take it slow. Trust yourself, trust your body. Try and come home into your body today. I really recommend Somatics. And if you are on the journey of unpacking things, please have support, have people to reach out to, find a professional if you need one. There is no shame in asking for help. It is quite literally why I'm here. So please, 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 until next time, I love you. Take care of your brain. Take care of your spine. I'll see you next time.